Is anybody else still traumatized from that earthquake that happened in Haiti in 2010?
Well, we have every reason to be mad because the Clintons have destroyed Haiti for the decades. And, you know, they pretend to be our friends when in reality they are our number one enemies.
So, y'all, in today's video, we are going to talk about the horrific 2010 Haiti earthquake that happened. But before we can even get into the details about the Haiti earthquake of 2010, we need to go back into time and understand the history of Haiti and how it ended up in the predicament that it was in. So let's just take it back, way back into time. I'm not a historian, but I like history, so we about to get into it. Have y'all ever wondered why Haiti, one of the first free republic nations on this world, ended up becoming one of the, or seemingly one of the poorest nations on earth? And like every story that comes to this nation, or just in general, it has a lot to do with slavery, France, money, and debt. In debt that basically strangled Haiti for literally a century. So back in the 1600s, France basically invaded and colonized Haiti. But it's important for me to note in this video that Haiti sits on an island that is shared with what we know as today as Dominican Republic. So the French in the 1600s colonized Haiti, also known as Hispaniola back in the day. And the Spain colonized the other portion of the island, which is known as the Dominican Republic. So essentially what was happening in Haiti is that it was enslaved Africans that were shipped in. I say shipped in, which sounds very inhumane, but slavery itself is inhumane. But basically, so many Africans were being brought to Haiti basically to work on sugar plantations. And so at this time, Haiti had produced 40% of the sugar in France and 60% of the coffee, and they were also known for also producing indigo, or having indigo in Haiti. So Haiti is already a very rich country because of the resources that it has, but there was such, I want to say, I don't know any other way, better way to say it, but it was such a high turnover for slaves or African people, because the lifespan to be an enslaved African in Haiti, you know, was a very short lifespan. So they constantly had to go to different countries in Africa and bring over different Africans to enslave in the country of Haiti. Because they had to keep the system going, they had to constantly ship in more and more people. So all of slavery and all this was going on, right? Because France was barely in Haiti. So they had what was called as the Petite Blancs, the poor white people that they had in Haiti, overseeing the enslaved Africans in Haiti. And the Grand Blancs were in France. So though Grand Blancs, they were barely in Haiti. Like, they don't really know what was going on because they wasn't overseeing. They just wanted to make sure they was getting their coffee, their sugar, and was making money off of our ancestors. And so of course we had free black people of color who were basically biracial black people who were the descendants of slave owners. And so a lot of times the Petite Blancs were very jealous of these free people of color, simply because they had generated wealth and was seemingly better than them and more high class, and so they were jealous of them. Because the Petite Blancs were basically at the bottom of the totem pole as far as like social hierarchy, because they were poor white people, and so that means like how it was like the enslaved Africans on Haiti, then the Petite Blancs, then the free people of color, and then the Grand Blancs. So let's fast forward to 1791, where there was like talks and chatters, because of course our ancestors was like, enough is king enough, let's get it, we ride at dawn. And so what basically happened is that the Haitian Revolution started. So the Haitian Revolution was led by Toussaint Louverture and Jean Jacques. And so y'all know what happened. We won. I say we as if I'm Haitian. I think I might be Haitian, girl. I don't know. I think my paternal grandmother might have been Haitian. I don't know. So the Haitians fought off Napoleon's French army, the Spanish, and the Brits, and they won, girl. They won back their independence. So by 1804, Haitian was declared an independent nation, and so at that point, they were no longer enslaved. They had their freedom. But a lot of people started turning their backs on Haiti in fear of an uproar, because like, oh girl, they crazy. They out here, you know, chopping heads off, doing what they got to do to get their freedom. But wouldn't you revolt as well? Wouldn't you stand up? Wouldn't you get tired at some point as well? So like the fact that they try to paint like, oh, those black people over there out there cutting up, acting crazy, uprising, we don't want to have anything to do with them. Fine. But really they didn't want the Haitians to influence the enslaved African people that was in America and other countries as well. So that's really what it boiled down to. So babes, let me tell you, in 1825, France came back with full vengeance, saying, with warships and all, basically saying, hey, y'all owe us money for property. Either you pay us $150 million in francs, which is like billions of dollars in today's time, or it's on site, basically. And if you let us win this war, y'all gonna all be enslaved again. And I'm like, ain't that some bullshit? Because y'all had us enslaved and y'all coming back here. We had a war and we won and we got our freedom and our independence. And y'all got the nerves to come out here and roll up on us in warships, basically saying like, it's on site if you don't pay us our money back or we're gonna enslave you again. Like, the enslaved have to pay back reparations. The former enslaved Africans have to pay back reparations to those who enslaved them, their slave masters. Like, girl, make that make sense. France ain't nothing but a bunch of bullies. Nothing, which is how colonization and all that happened in the first place. So the thing about it is Haiti literally had no choice but to choose to pay back this debt or this loan that they so say owed France. Because I don't know if y'all ever heard of, let me just kind of piggyback. So in order for Haiti to be able to even make these payments or have the money to pay them back, they basically have to take a loan from France, right? And this loan took them literally 120 years to pay off because they couldn't afford to pay all this money to them. It was either pay them the money or go get into another war and ultimately probably be enslaved again. And so I don't know if y'all ever heard of this author called John Perkins, but he has a book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman. I swear by this book, I've read it like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times since I've been in college or graduated from college, which was years ago. So basically that book kind of explains how countries like America will go into impoverished countries and basically like sell them a dream like, oh, we're gonna put this building here, this business here, just so that we can drive in some economics and some business to y'all. And so they're like, well, hey, we can't afford this, America. You selling us a dream, but we can't afford it. And America's like, oh wait, no problem. Well, you can just take out a loan and then you can just pay us back. And the loan is so high, what I'm assuming a very high interest, that they can never pay back and forever indebted to America and countries of the like, which is another form of slavery. And so in this situation with Haiti and France, they had to borrow the money from them with sky high interest rates. A lose-lose situation all around. And so because it took them 120 years to pay off this debt, they weren't officially done paying it off until 1947. It just basically drained their economy because they worked so hard to pay this debt off to France. And all of this was just to regain their freedom, or maintain their freedom rather. So sad. Now the irony behind all of this is meanwhile Haiti is working so desperately hard to pay off this debt or this loan, right? France was taking Haiti's money and like rebuilding their own economy and taking the money to fund different projects like the Eiffel Tower and the Statue of Liberty, girl. Like, what? So Haiti paid for our Statue of Liberty? And they paid for the Eiffel Tower over there in France? Is that what y'all telling me? Yes, that's what we're telling you. So the thing is, Haiti is a very rich country, rich in minerals. It has fertile land, it has gold, it has copper, it has so many resources for it to be a thriving nation economically. And so, but the problem is, because of the history with, you know, owing back debt or loans to like France and corrupt leadership and just like enslavement, it just really drained Haiti of its resources, y'all. The foreign interference did not make it any better. And so the thing about it is also the United States at some point occupied Haiti from between the years of 1915 to 1934, right? And even when Bill Clinton was in office in the 90s, he basically told the Haitians like, hey, Instead of y'all using y'all crops and resources and fertile land to produce rice and to make money, my brother here in Arizona can produce it for y'all, and we can just sell. We can use this Arizona rice over here. And so this is why Haiti did not have the money it needed to have infrastructure to withstand this earthquake that happened in 2010. Haiti was literally punished for being the first free Black republic in a sense of centuries of exploitation, right? Debt and just punishment because they dared to take back their freedom. They were literally drained of resources and economics. And so when the Haiti's earthquake in 2010 hit, it hit hard. And it literally dismantled their infrastructure. And so I hope y'all enjoyed this crash course of Haitian history, because I had to explain all of that to get to the earthquake and why it left so much damage that it did. And it was because this country, it's not a poor country, it is a rich country that has been exploited for centuries. They did not have the money for the proper infrastructure to withstand this earthquake, y'all. So at this point in the video, we are going to get into the Haitian earthquake of 2010.
Is anybody else still traumatized from that earthquake that happened in Haiti in 2010? Because I'm still traumatized. For some reason, I still feel it. Y'all, I thought I was healed, but if I hear a loud bang, my soul leaves my body. Immediately. Immédiatement. My soul leaves my body. And it's not even funny, but like I gotta laugh at my pain, because I thought I was healed. And yes, I was there. I went through it. I was present. It was awful. It was the worst time period of my life. And I thought me moving here was magically going to heal me. And mind you, that shit happened in 2010. 2010, I was 10 years old. I'm now 25. I cannot hear loud bangs. If I hear a loud bang, if I hear anything shaking, motion scares me. Motion scares me immediately. Hyperventilating. Hyperventilating. I can't. Honestly, like, I think I need help. I'm admitting it. Like, for real. Because I don't like this feeling. I don't know. Is it only me?
You guys remember the earthquake that happened in Haiti that actually wiped out over 300,000 of people in Haiti? It just came out of nowhere and no one expected it. And obviously the way that we construct our buildings and the way that we don't have an emergency response for things like that. And a lot of lives were lost. And that includes a lot of my family members and a lot of friends. And it almost took my dad and my little brother. And that's not all, guys. When we couldn't hear from my dad because of the communication service, and I, like I said, I thought I lost him. I was like in a devastating mode. Thought I lost my little brother. I was in a devastating mode. Yes, after 6 days, we actually heard from my dad. And when we heard from him, he was actually sleeping in tents outside in the street of Haiti. Him with my little brother. I can go to details about like the people that we lost, but this actually came out of my dad's mouth because I want to keep it spiritual. Because I want you guys to understand exactly what happened in Haiti is not a natural phenomenon. This is more spiritual than anything. And a lot of losses that we suffer now, it goes the same way. It's more like of a spiritual welfare, y'all guys. We have to understand that. So, when my dad was sleeping in these tents, every day that he would call us when he gets the chance, and he would tell us exactly what he sees at night, what's happening to like unalive bodies that were actually left on the street because like the emergency services were not available to pick up like these unalive bodies. And then he was always telling us that like he couldn't sleep at night because of the things that he was seeing, to a point where like he couldn't cope with it, that he started smoking cigarette. My dad is not a smoker, to a point that he actually got addicted to it. And he didn't want to tell us exactly what he was seeing. He just couldn't wait until he get to the US so he can tell us. So when he got here, we actually set up with dad, sit down with dad, because we saw that he kept going outside and smoking. We sat down with him like, what's going on? What's bothering you? And then that's when he was telling, like he told us, at night in the street of Haiti, I would actually see things falling from the sky and actually feed energy or some type of like cloud or whatever it is out of these bodies that were left on the street. And he kept like literally repeating the same thing. He said he was trying to keep his eyes closed. Even my little brother saw it sometimes, and he was trying to like telling him like, close your eyes, don't speak, don't scream, act like you don't see nothing. And then they did exactly that. And then, you know, like they made it out, you know, they catch the next flight they could, and then they here in the US. It is a spiritual welfare, like when you see these things happen, like 80 earthquakes, other countries' earthquakes, like where like mass people lose their life, airplane crash, you know, like the Wi-Fi in California. We need to stop opening doors to these beings, because when they come for the innocents. They come for everybody. Be careful, guys. Protect your energy. Protect this realm. A lot of these beings come from the second dimension, and they cannot wait for the door to be open.
I actually still can't believe it's been 15 years since my life changed completely. As some of y'all may know, I am a survivor of the Haitian earthquake that happened exactly 15 years ago today. And even though it's been 15 years, the Haitian community, including myself, still remains widely affected by this. Whether it be from people suffering from PTSD, people losing family or their homes. Point is, even after 15 years, the people of Haiti still find it hard to recover. A lot of people died. My life changed in a way where I didn't expect, because imagine you're 10 years old, you go to school regular, and it's just so weird because every time I think back about that day, from the moment I woke up, something felt off. You know when you wake up and the day just feels different? That's kind of what it was. I went to school that day, and little did I know that would be the last time I will be seeing everybody in that school. Because apparently I'm meant to be here, I got picked up early from school, along with a few other classmates for no reason. It was random. Bus driver had something to do, and he came and he picked us up early from school. Hadn't he done that, I would have been one of the people who passed away, as the part of my school that I was in, once the earthquake hit, was completely shattered to the ground. After the earthquake, we took so long to recover, and everything in Haiti just got progressively worse. It really hurts that the last time I was home was when my home was utterly destroyed. And I'm not talking about my house, I'm talking about my country. I've never went back to Haiti since I've been here. And some days I want nothing more than to go home. But to hear that gangs have taken over my family's property and the insecurity that is going on, sometimes I wonder if I have a home. I personally relate to the story of Haiti so much as a person, because when you do nothing but fight for what you want, stand up against your oppressors, be shunned from the rest of the world for choosing yourself, for choosing your freedom. Haiti has been through a lot. The people of Haiti have heart and strength like I've never seen before. And to hear the negative things that other people have to say when it comes to my country, my home, it's all hurtful. But then I think about it and I remember the Haiti that I know. The Haiti that I know is beautiful. It is a beautiful tropical island with amazing food, music, vibes, and people, and fucking community. I know a lot of Haitians, a lot of people have given up on Haiti. I will never give up on my home, because that is all I know, and most times it's all I have, because you don't truly own anything in America. I want to take this moment to give my Haitian people some strength, some hope, and some courage if I can. And if you're like me and you haven't been back home since you came to the States, the day is coming. And it genuinely warms my heart every time I see people doing the thing for Haiti, like Bertrude. If you don't know Bertrude, she has been building canals in Haiti. She has been doing so much for our country. And every time I see her content, it gives me hope. Karen Ulysses, I think. I'm sorry if I butchered your last name. Not only does she have a nonprofit hospital and school in Haiti, and care center and adoption center in Haiti, she is doing the goddamn thing in the middle of danger. I never ask much of you guys, but today specifically, if you support me, then you support my people. And I'm sorry, I did butcher her name. Her name is Karine. And it would mean the world to me if you guys can donate even as little as $1 to her organization. Because she is helping the people of Port-au-Prince right now. This is not UNICEF. She is Haitian, and she's in the field helping women and men in need of medical care for free, helping women during childbirth for free. People having access to a hospital is important. And in Haiti, a lot of us do not have access to hospitals. Child care, a lot of the babies, newborns are dehydrated, malnutrition. They need help to recover. Her adoption center, which is her home that she turned into an adoption center, it has over 10 kids in there. So your donations are so important. If you get nothing from this video, just donate a single dollar. This is her Instagram. The link is right there. And this is the website where you can donate directly. Rest assured that your money will be going towards something great. And this is Bertrude. The link is also right there if you guys want to donate. This is a major help as we're building canals, better roads, better access to food, water. So lock in, y'all. Because I'm trying to go back home to a healed, better, and livelier Haiti. I love my home and I am so proud to be Haitian. Vive Haiti from your favorite Haitian homegirl.
Today is January 12, 2025. If you're Haitian, you know the emotional weight that comes with this date. I just came back from church and I've been reflecting since this morning on that day in Haiti, and I'm gonna share my experience with you guys. I was 11 years old when the earthquake happened. I had just came back from school. I was sitting in front of the TV watching The Lion King, and it was just at the part where all the animals were running and the ground was shaking. And before you actually felt the earthquake, you heard a very loud, traumatizing noise that I don't think any Haitian could ever get out of their head if they were there. Once it reached my neighborhood and the whole house started shaking, we ran outside, and literally as I ran outside, go through the kitchen to go outside, I slid under the dining table. Like, it was shaking so much that I literally slid under the dining table. Then finally I got up and ran back outside. It literally felt like the end of the world. Once I got outside, it was only me, my sister, and my brother-in-law and his girlfriend at home at the time. Once we got outside, there was this white fog that invaded the entire neighborhood. You could barely see through that white fog, but it was actually not fog. It was dust, cement dust that had risen from everything that had just collapsed. Everybody came out of their homes, and we were all outside in the streets and lost, confused, and just trying to process what had just happened. My parents weren't home, so everybody was trying to get a hold of their loved ones. Nothing had collapsed on my neighborhood, but very close by and where my family, my mom was, most things had collapsed as she was downtown during that time. For the next month after that, we all slept in the streets on mattresses. In my neighborhood, we all slept on mattresses and prayed together, and the sense of community and togetherness was very, very strong. And we were still trying to figure out what had just happened and processed what had just happened. I think every Haitian person has lost someone during the earthquake or knows of people that passed away during that time. The day after the earthquake happened, my entire family volunteered at Hôpital Communauté Haïtienne. Since I was only 11 years old, they didn't want me to come to the hospital, but I was preparing like stickers and stuff to sort all the incoming patients. It was more than the hospital could handle, but after 3 days of doing that, I knew I wanted to do more. So I begged my family to let me come and help at the hospital, and since they really needed a translator, somebody that speaks Creole and English, at 11 years old, they let me go volunteer at the hospital as well. Growing up, I was always scared of blood, and I can't even take a shot till this day. But I knew that whatever I was doing there was worth way more than my fear. So for the first week, I was working at the top floor of the hospital, where I was sorting food and bringing kits of food and toiletries and women toiletries to tents and tents and tents of people that went down the entire street to get to the neighborhood. And you would see people with open wounds and worms inside of it and infected, and it was just going from tent to tent, and there were little children missing half of their heads. It was very traumatizing experience. After a week of doing that, they needed help in translator more and more. So I went and helped with translating for the next 2 months. And during that time, I saw people that were getting brought back to life with the machine. I saw people missing half of their body. I could never remove these images in my head, but even though I was someone that was afraid of blood and afraid of seeing wounded people, I still stayed strong and kept a compassionate face, because I knew it was serving a higher purpose, and I couldn't stand there knowing that I have the skill that they need in order to serve those patients and not help. Because as they were changing bandages and stuff, I had to be there, because they were asking, does that hurt, where's the pressure points, make sure like they were putting it in the right places, and communicate with the patients, because we were getting a lot of help from the US. It was a lot of US doctors that came to Haiti and that hospital to help, but it was very difficult, the communication. So that's the only way my family let me come and help in that way. And I just think that helped a lot, just feeling helpless, and having the blessing that my house didn't collapse, still feel like I was able to help the people that had lost everything and whose life was in danger. Years later, my mom actually sent me a video of CNN interviewers that had came, and they had filmed me working, because I think I was the youngest volunteer, and they were talking about me in that video, and I didn't even know what CNN was, and I didn't even know that video existed. I didn't even remember that. But every year I reflect back on that time and just the emotional weight of that day. And even though it was a very traumatizing time in our lives, all Haitians that were in Haiti in that time, I think it was a very traumatizing moment. I still admired like everyone that I saw come together to help each other. I saw a lot of people come together, volunteer, and just help each other as a community. So yeah, this was my January 12, 2010 experience, and my heart goes out to everyone who lost a loved one and a close relative, and that is also having a very emotionally heavy day.
On January 12th of 2010, Haiti was hit with one of the deadliest earthquakes known in modern history. They were hit with a 7.0 magnitude earthquake that killed hundreds of thousands of people, injured hundreds of thousands of people, and left over 1 million people homeless. A lot of the buildings were collapsing like paper, because remember, they had really poor, and still to this day unfortunately have really poor infrastructure because of the history of the dead and things such as that. Hospitals were falling down. The capital in Port-au-Prince, which is the capital of Haiti, like their capital building, it fell down. It all collapsed. It was such a very scary and frightening thing to see. Like, you might think, oh, a little 30-second earthquake. No, babes, a little 30-second earthquake did damage. In the aftermath of the aftershocks, babes, like there were so many aftershakes that occurred after the freaking earthquake took place, which caused even more damage, similar to Hurricane Katrina. Like after the hurricane itself, the flood came in and did so much damage. So it's not always just the storm per se, it's just what happens after the storm, the quiet storm, like after it's over. And so of course, like after the I was gonna say hurricane, girl. After the earthquake happened, right, there was so much sympathy poured out to the nation of Haiti and people wanting to help. I know y'all remember the Hope for Haiti and things such as that, where celebrities came in and was like raising so much money and donations to give to Haiti. And so in total millions and millions and billions of dollars, $13 billion, I believe, was raised and donated to give to Haiti to help them during this time. And so the purpose of that money, right, was to rebuild the nation, houses, schools, and all of hospitals, right, because their airports had been, messed up. The hospitals, like the number one hospital that a lot of people went to, was gone within a matter of seconds. And so you would think that money that was raised was supposed to have been given to Haiti to help rebuild the nation, babes. But of course, history likes to repeat itself.
$500 million and they built nothing. After the earthquake of 2010, 300,000 people died. And almost the whole city of Port-au-Prince got destroyed, eliminated, collapsed. And after that, people sent so much money to NGOs or to the country, and they were expecting to support the people. That's why they did all these crowdfundings. Now, 14 years after, it's been proved that none of this money, none of these earthquake funds went to the people. This country received $500 million and zero money were invested in the infrastructure, like sewers, roads, farms, nothing. Basically, all the money went back to the American NGOs. You see me all happy and excited. At the same time, this environment it's a disaster. It's terrible. Imagine having your kids and grow here.
Well, we have every reason to be mad because the Clintons have destroyed Haiti for the decades. And, they pretend to be our friends when in reality they are our number one enemies. There are some other people who clearly behave like they don't like us. So it's easy for us to protect ourselves against them because we know they are our enemies. But the Clintons are even more dangerous because they pretend to be our friends when in reality they're destroying Haiti.
Because I heard that the Clinton Foundation and all these other organizations gave over $6 billion to Haiti for the relief effort, especially during the kind of natural disasters that you guys have gone through. Is that true?
No, it's more than true. The money is much more than $6 billion. You see, after the earthquake, countries around the world donate billions of dollars. The amount was much larger than $6 billion. And Bill Clinton was in charge of the money. And not only people around the world, but also American celebrities donate a lot of larger money to rebuild Haiti. And hundreds of homes were destroyed after the earthquake. And if you can believe, the people are still living under tents. That's unacceptable. And not only they held the money, they kept the money, but Haiti had enough resources for them to be very comfortable. Haiti have oil, more oil than Venezuela. Nobody's talking about. Haiti have gold. We have one of the largest gold mines in the Caribbean. So, and they let the world, nobody's saying anything about our goals. Yeah. And who do you think is in charge of our gold right now? The contract. Yeah. Tony Rodham, Hillary Clinton's brother. Wow. He's got a 26 years contract. And then also Haiti used to produce, we used to produce our own rice. We didn't have to buy rice overseas. Bill Clinton destroyed our rice so his brother can sell the rice from Arkansas. Yeah, wow. So they're doing a lot of things. Right now, if there's a millionaire or a billionaire who wants to do business in Haiti, they cannot do anything unless they check with the Clintons. The Clintons are the one who's running Haiti. Yeah, wow. And we are living in the 21st century. We are the first black people who liberate ourselves from the French rule. We fought 3 empires, the British, the Spanish, the French. So it's unacceptable for us to be occupied right now. They dropping disease in Haiti. They stealing our money. They stealing our resources. So we are out here. We are outraged for the crimes of the Clintons. Hillary Clinton have too much criminal records. She have no business running for president, especially for the news that came out in the email. Find out that the DMC made all these tricks in order to favor Hillary Clinton.
The question is, when it comes to Hillary Clinton's brother, how was he able to get that contract? How were the Clintons allowed to have such control of Haiti?
It's a family affair. Bill Clinton, the United Nations named him the chief guy who was in charge of rebuilding Haiti. and then while Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State. So it's a family thing. Chelsea Clinton, all the Clinton Foundation, they're just stealing money. And most of the money, I can tell you right now, I know they have a lot of speech for money around the world and for Wall Street, but most of the money they have right now is from Haiti, from the Haitians. And when they're letting the world know we are poor, let me give you one simple example. If you are super rich, and then I would go and tell the whole world that you are poor for years, for decades, and then everybody believes you're poor, and then I would come out and steal your money. And then you go and let everybody know I stole your money. They're going to think you crazy because everybody knows, the world knows Haiti is the poorest country when we are not. We are rich. Haiti used to call the island of Pearl. Haiti is still rich. So there are Haitian lawyers, Haitian doctors everywhere they are millionaires who wants to go and spend their money in Haiti. But the United States government, not only they stealing our resources, our money, they create kidnapping. Now we are even afraid to go to Haiti. You cannot walk in the streets in Haiti. And then what the Clintons, they own the hotel, they go everywhere, they do whatever they want. This is unacceptable. I myself, I'm ready to die. I want the whole world to know who the Clintons are. This have to stop. This have to stop. It's time for us to stand up. We cannot take this any longer.
Amazing information. Where can people find out more about the resources of how the Clintons ultimately now control Haiti? Is there a website? Is there any other information that you want to share?
You can go to YouTube. You're gonna see our videos. You can put you can put Haitian American Joseph Matthew, and then you're gonna see the first video would be me exposing the Clintons in front of the Trump Tower. We know, so we have a lot of videos.
Because we saw the investigations into where a lot of the relief funds for Haiti came into, and it ultimately went nowhere to the people but big multinational corporations, and a lot of the people who are still dealing with that natural disaster never got any relief because all the money that was funneled into them, even through the Red Cross, even through the Clinton Global Initiative, which the Clinton Global Initiative sometimes uses and brags like, look, we helped out Haiti, we did this for Haiti. What did they do for Haiti, and what's the current situation there?
What have the Clinton, not only Haiti, what have the Clinton done with their foundation? They don't help anyone. They're just enriching themselves. Going, stealing people's money, resources, that's what they do. We're asking friends, the American friends, to stand up with us. This is unacceptable. We cannot allow this to happen. We are living in the 21st century. We cannot allow a liar, a crooked, a thief to be president. We cannot allow that to happen. If that happened, I will have no respect for America or United States anymore. Because I used to believe America was the greatest country in the world, but there is no more justice anymore. Because the American justice is crooked. Look how they're supporting Hillary Clinton. This is unacceptable.
Thank you so much for the information. Thank you so much for the passion. A lot of people in America do not know this. Is there any other information you want to leave us with when it comes to the Clintons, when it comes to the situation in Haiti right now?
Well, other information I can tell you, you need to go and Google yourself to find out about our resources, you know, what's really happening in Haiti. And right now, even though there's a lot of poverty in Haiti, but there's two sides in Haiti. There is a bourgeois who's living in Haiti. Haiti is not all poor. Haiti, there's a lot of Haitians, they don't even come here. They go to Europe, they go to Italy on vacation, they go to France. They're the one who's holding the wealth of Haiti, and then they're the one that the Clintons are supporting, because as long they let the peasant Haitian suffering, they are under the tents, and they're okay. As long the bourgeois are okay, that's why they separate the money, the relief money. So all this corruption needs to be stopped. There's too much corruption in the government. Too much corruption. So all my life, I believe America is a country where you have justice, you have freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, but I don't see it anymore. So we have too much resources for us to be suffering right now. Yep. One last thing. You see, the Clintons, they don't like black people. They pretend to like us. Bill Clinton signed more laws to incarcerate, to put black people in jail. That's a fact. It's been in the news. All the Democrats are doing for the blacks. The blacks, some of them are waking up right now. All they do is vote for Democrats. The Democrats, all they're doing is more welfares, more jails, more food stamps. We need more than that. We need opportunities. All of us, many of us are educated. We need more schools. And then a lot of black people are in jail right now because of Bill Clinton. You know, yeah, all the crime bills, NAFTA, everything. So we are not allowed to, right now we don't even have a president. If we choose a president, they don't want, the Clintons want to be the one who choose a president for us. That's unacceptable. We don't even have we cannot have, we don't have an election right now because of the Clintons. This needs to be stopped because they chose, the one we had before was Michel Martelly. He was a crackhead, a guy who's putting down his pen, doing all corruption. He's the one that the Clintons support. And then on his administration, the Clinton was allowed to steal billions of dollars in Haiti. So this is why they do not want us to choose a president of our own. We need to govern our own country. We need to be able to trade with other countries because we have gold, we have uranium, we have oil, we have marble, we have everything. So it's time for us, just leave us alone. Stop saying we are poor. We don't even need help from the United States. We have enough resources to trade with China, with other countries, because we are the first black Republic Haitian who free ourselves from slavery. We even fought for Americans' independence, but nobody wants to give us credit for what we have done. So I'm personally, I'm sick and tired of it, and all the Haitians are sick and tired of it. So I thank you for hearing our cry, because we need more American to support us to expose what the Clintons are doing to our country.
And so most of that money that was raised to go to Haiti never seen. Like a lot of that money Haiti like never seen. And so all of that money that the Red Cross raised, right? A lot of it went to foreign contractors, consultants, and of actual relief to the people. So the Red Cross barely built any homes, like barely any homes were built. Years after the storm had taken place, people were still homeless, living out in tents and stuff like that, waiting on hope, waiting on relief, but they never got it. And if that wasn't enough, where they did not get their money, there were literal refuge people, whatever missionary Baptist people from America, going into Dominican Republic, setting up shop, getting hotels, going to Haiti under the vise of like, hi, I'm here to rescue the orphan children that lost their parents during the storm. And y'all know who I'm talking about, Laura Silsby.
Was it a crime or an act of kindness? 10 members of a U.S. church group have spent a second night in a Haitian jail accused of attempted child trafficking. They were arrested over the weekend as they tried to take 33 children out of quake-ravaged Haiti. NBC's Michelle Kaczynski is in Port-au-Prince with the very latest. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Meredith. What the Haitian government calls a crime, this American church group calls an act of kindness. They say they were trying to rescue some kids, and they were arrested trying to bring them across the border without proper documentation. But now there's a question as to whether all of these children were really orphans at all. 33 Haitian children, ages 2 months to 12 years, are at the center of an international custody dispute. It started Saturday when 10 Americans were arrested, accused of trying to traffic in children when they arrived at the Dominican border with a busload of kids and no official documents.
Without passport, without paper.
The American Baptist group, mostly from Idaho, say they took the children from an orphanage that was destroyed in Haiti and that they thought they had all the permission they would need.
We had been told by a number of people, officials, and that it was okay for the pastor to sign, that he was entrusting them into our care, and the Dominican government had already approved that we would be able to care for those children in the Dominican Republic.
The group, calling itself the Haitian Orphan Rescue Mission, said it planned to take the kids to a hotel in the Dominican Republic for now, while they continued to work on building an orphanage that started before the earthquake. They were stopped at the border, and some officials in Haiti question whether the children are all actually orphans.
We will reunite them with their parents or with their relatives, because we already know that some of these children still have parents, because an elder girl, might be 8 or 9 years old, told us crying, I'm not an orphan, I do have my parents.
The church group insists they meant no harm, only good. The Haitian government has instituted strict rules to make sure that children are adopted properly. And there's been a fight over who will pay for taking care of the most vulnerable here. Last week, U.S. military evacuations of critically injured earthquake victims were halted because of misunderstandings over where.
So basically what Lord Silsby, her and 9 other Americans traveled to Haiti, basically going in and they took 33 children, claiming that they were orphanage and they were trying to help them and bring them back to the Dominican Republic, and claiming that they were told by the DR that they can go in and get these children and rescue and help them. But come to find out, most, if not all of these kids were not orphanages, and they still had their parents and families to go to. So essentially, the people ended up getting caught in a sense, and she got arrested. I think only her and one other person got convicted. The conviction was not the same as the charges. They had pled down to a lesser charge, girl, and she went on her merry way. And I'm of the belief that if people of that culture, right, has a history of enslaving people, then I don't find it too far-fetched that you would have nefarious intents with these children, right? Because we know, right, or in my conspiracy brain, that sex trafficking is prevalent. It happens every day. It's scary. And when you have these natural disasters, people who have resources, predators who have resources, who's to say they won't go in and infiltrate and take steal and just do whatever they want, in the sense of like taking people's children? Who are you to believe that you can go into these other countries, right, and take these people's kids? And to do what with them? You're doing it under the guise of, oh, I want to take these kids to, you know, into foster, whatever their form of foster care is. Not even through DCFS, but through their form of foster care, to find them a loving home in America. I don't believe you.
Do you guys remember the earthquake that happened in Haiti that killed like over 300,000 people? I know that was a terrible, terrible event, and it's gonna stay in, you know, the history of Haiti forever. I've lost family members, you know, I've lost friends, and I'm pretty sure many of us, if you know, had anybody in Haiti, like, you know, there's trauma in your family because you've had to have at least lost one person or somebody suffered from that. My dad was actually there when the earthquake happened, you know, and we almost lost him. I even had a little brother who we actually, you know, almost lost. I lost cousins, you know, I lost aunts, you know, it was just a tragedy. But you know what the most tragedy was that like most people are not talking about? It's all the kids that actually disappeared that were supposedly adopted from people here in the United States, and no one has ever heard from these kids. These kids never appeared anywhere in the news, anywhere in anyone's feed. Like, they just completely vanished. And I know there's been a lot of, you know, a lot of talk, you know, a lot of people like with theories and stuff, but the one that stick out the most, or, you know, like actually real lawyers and real representatives in Haiti, you know, they were coming out and they were saying what happened to these kids. These kids were actually kidnapped, you know, by some people from the dark web, you know, up here, and then they were brought up here, and then they were killed, and then their organs were actually sold. And I don't know about you guys, but I know what it's like. Well, I've heard what it's like to having to have a kidney replaced, and how difficult and how much like that can cost. So, you know, like these kids were, you know, sacrificed and sold for that. And when I tell you that it was many of them, these are kids who actually lost parents during the earthquake. These are kids who actually never had a parent caring for them. They were just in the street, you know. And every time I watch that video, that music video of, you know, We Are the World for Haiti, and I see all these wonderful little looking kids, these poor, you know, lost souls, and how they thought that they were gonna have the American dream. They were gonna be saved from already the misery that they had. And then imagine taking them to a place where, you know, like you just torture them to death, you know, in order for you to, you know, harvest their, you know, their organs so you can make a profit out of it. This is just a theory. Like, I love to listen to things like that because the unknown is unbelievable, and sometimes you have to be a little bit open-minded because there's a lot of things that's happening behind us that we don't know about. And the dark web is exactly what it's named, dark. It's really dark. I don't want to know what's going up there, to be honest with you. The evilness that people are actually doing on that. But I keep questioning it, like, where did these kids go? Because I haven't seen not one kid, and it's been a while. They would have been grown by now, and they would have come out and said, you know, like, I was adopted by this person, this family, and here I am, you know, like, I survived the earthquake, now here I am. I haven't heard one thing. But I've heard, you know, immigration lawyers, I've heard charities come out and said that these kids they went missing, you know? Like, these, like, people, they just, like, take these kids and then they believe that they, you know, kill them for their organs. It's a tragedy.